let's just get the Hitler thing out of the way. Do you actually admire Adolf Hitler?
What's up, Shell Gang? And hello, YouTube. All right, I'm making this video because I just saw Alex Jones' name up in the news a lot and started like looking him up and started trying to find out more about him because he seemed kind of interesting. And one of the things I found disgusting with Nick Fuentes is discussion they had about Hitler. So I'm gonna go ahead and make it like a reaction video to that or discussion, whatever you want. But I'm gonna try to make sure there's not too many breaks and too many cuts. So let's go ahead and check this out. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, or if you want me to play the rest of the video, let me know in the comment section below. All right, let's go. Oh yeah, add me on Twitter and my other social media at ayoitsdamenace, cause hey yo, we be doing some funny stuff out there. All right, let's go though.
Let's just get the Hitler thing out of the way. Do you actually admire Adolf Hitler?
In some ways, yes. And I'm not a National Socialist, and I'm not I wouldn't identify that way because I'm a Christian. So I'm not any kind of a socialist or a fascist. I like believe we should have a Christian government. It's a Christian country. God runs the world. We should have a government in accordance with that. But honestly, I don't share this histrionic Jewish view that Hitler is this exceptionally boogeyman, evil figure. The 20th century is full of violence. The 20th century is full of authoritarian ideologies run rampant, and that's a product of modernism and liberalism and all kinds of trends. But this idea that my life is in any way impacted by Hitler, I have a lot more animosity for the ADL. I have a lot more animosity for the ZOA. I have a lot more animosity for the groups that have actually made my life and the life of my family materially worse personally and across the board with the society. I'm sick of being expected by Jewish media and Holocaust museums to beat my chest like you kind of did the other week and say, oh, I hate Hitler. Hitler's a... it's like this weird, it's like 1984, when they put the face on the TV and everybody's got to get all wound up. He's
You're talking about 10 minutes.
Figure.
You're talking about 10 minutes of hate.
That's one conspiracy I never understood, the Jews. I never understood why people were like, oh, the Jews are like plotting or the Jews are doing this and that. I'm like, where does people get that stuff? That's why I understand where he's getting that from. And like, I can't get that whole behind like being behind Hitler, but I can understand saying, yo, Hitler did some stuff that were smart with his military and with the engineering and stuff like that. They did some smart stuff, but he was evil. He did some smart stuff we could learn from some of the stuff he did, even though at the end of the day, he was an evil person. That's just my view about it. We could learn things from evil people without absorbing the evil stuff or without absorbing the evilness in it also with the things that we do. That's my view and that's my opinion about this, but let's see what Alex Jones' rebuttal is.
Well, I legitimately hate Stalin, hate Mao, hate Hitler, hate the ADL, hate Barack Obama, hate the Democratic Party. And I've always, remember me on Piers Morgan? I didn't get a call from the ADL when I was on Piers Morgan, the most popular thing he ever did, the biggest thing CNN did that year. They had the ratings. They had like 50 million viewers for that. Their average show had like 10 million back then. And I said, Hitler took the guns, Stalin took the guns, Mao took the guns. And if you try to take our guns, 1776 will commence again. I've always criticized Hitler. I've made documentaries about the Bush family helping fund Hitler and the British royalty. So where we have a sticking point is that Alex got the call as you sent out on social media. And I'm just curious, do you think I actually got a call to come out and criticize Hitler? You think that's a new thing for me?
No, I know that you're very vocally anti-Hitler over the years. I know that you're more of a libertarian, and so you have this view of history which lumps in together Mao, Stalin, Hitler as authoritarians versus freedom fighters, capitalists, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson. So I'm familiar with your show and all of that. And honestly, it was a little bit glib. You called me baby Hitler. I said, you got a call. Quite honestly, it's banter, but it is well known that you don't really talk about this issue. You're more talking about New World Order, Bill Gates, and these sort of obscure conspiracy theories like Bilderberg. My show's a lot more focused on, what you might call the Jewish question, which is what are we to do about this Jewish elite, these Jewish gangsters that run our Christian country? These people
I think that's a debate that should be had, because there's no doubt that leftism and the whole globalist power grab has wrapped itself in Judaism as its defense. And I would call the FTX folks and the federal regulators who all, involved in this basically are Jewish. who are out there doing that are criminals who happen to be Jewish who are hiding behind Judaism. But I don't then blame the average Jew for that. So I think that's the difference. Kind of like when Ye and you were on with Gavin McInnes, and he's like, well, you know, blacks commit as proportionate more crime than the other group, but you don't just blame the average black person. Do you just not trust a Jew when they come in the room? And Ye goes, yeah, I don't, you know. To me, that's what I'm saying is I do believe in Martin Luther King, that we judge individuals by who they are and what they do, not by what color they are or where they're from. But
I think I just became an Alex Jones fan. Not gonna lie, I think I just became like a Alex Jones fan because that just fucking makes sense. Like, I'm not gonna lie. At first, I liked Obama because he was black, but he ended up doing more for the LGBT other special interest groups than anything for like the black community or like people that actually need like poor people that actually need the help that that people thought he was gonna help provide. So I understand why Alex Jones could hate the dude, but like I'm not really gonna say I hate him. I just don't like his politics. I just don't like his presidency. And like so okay, I understand what you say. He don't like hate every Jew. He's not like every Jew is involved in it, but it's like probably like enough of them that are Jewish that are together is probably doing something. So probably that's why it seems kind of sketchy. But I don't know. I never understood I never like did so much any research into the whole the Jews conspiracy theory. I never did any research into that, so I can't really say anything about that. But one thing I do agree with him with that leftism, liberalism, progressivism, whatever you want to call it, that's going on in the Democratic Party is that crap is evil. I'm not even gonna lie. Like wherever they're trying to take this country to this like whole globalist society where there's no borders and like everybody's together. Like I'm a Haitian immigrant, and even I recognize like, hey yo, we should have closed borders. Every country should be separate. I understand countries being cool with each other, but like we shouldn't just have like one like glob of countries just like oh we're all together and stuff like that on one side, and then Russia and China on the other side. That just doesn't make sense to me. That's how you like when you polarize the world like that. Just have two like poles. You're just gonna say oh start thinking oh that side's evil, and you're gonna start thinking and they think we're evil. Like when you start developing that mentality, it's just kind of stupid. Because maybe to be honest, I think like Russia and China to seem more scared than they're gonna be on the offense because like we the biggest and the baddest. Like who really gonna touch us? Like why should we be scared of them? I feel like they're more scared of us, and that's why they're trying to put up this front like they're so powerful and they could do this, but they really can't. To be honest, this is my personal point of view about this whole things about the Russia and China thing. But like I'm with Alex Jones, bro. Especially what he said at the end about like you can't blame one person you can't blame one person for like everything that goes on with that group because you can't say, oh yeah, that one black person is just like every other like oh that he's just all the Jews because like Kanye West saying that. I didn't see that interview. If y'all want me to pull up that interview or like that, like look it up, I will. But like that's kind of dumb to say, like, oh yeah, you can hate all the Jews or something like that. Like I can understand hating like a group of people like that just happen to be Jews, but it's not because they're Jews you hate them. They're just oh I hate that group and they just happen to be Jews. That's not like kind of any kind of fucked up or anything like that to be honest. But hey, let's continue. Let's continue with this. I kind of like find this interesting. Let's go.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I agree with that in principle, but we also have to understand that it's not that these people happen to be Jewish. I think that's the big source of the disagreement. Is these are what we're told in the last few weeks when Ye makes these remarks about the Jewish media or Jewish Hollywood or so on is, well, these are individuals. These are people that we've got to name them individually, and these are people that happen to be bad, or rather they are bad and happen to be Jewish. But I think there's something about their Jewishness that makes it this way. And I think that is really the source of the disagreement. My morality is not bound up in this authoritarian versus freedom thing. It's about God versus the devil. And the curious fact about the Jewish religion, which all the Jewish people that came to America in the last century as immigrants were religious. When the people came over at Ellis Island in the late 19th and early 20th century, they came from these rabbinical communities. They were all very religious. And so you've got all the Jews in America, elite, not elite. They're 1, 2, or 3 generations removed from these very religious, rabbinical Jewish communities. What's curious about the Jewish religion is it's the only one that has an extreme antipathy for Jesus Christ. Muslims revere Jesus as a prophet. Buddhists, Hindus, they review Jesus as a wise teacher. We all agree that Jesus existed. It's only the Jews that say that Jesus is burning in hell. boiling in semen and excrement and say that his mother is a whore. And so you take these people that come from Europe, and again, it's their children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren who are now in charge of the elite institutions.
Well, sure. I mean,
which
Nick,
are
I'll
turned
say
out-
this. Ethan Klein came out on his huge podcast and said, I would murder Jesus again. Jews should, basically kill Christians. And you didn't say kill Jews. So he went further than you and Ye, and no one decried it. And that is wrong. He said, I'm Jewish. I want to kill Jesus again. We should kill Jesus. We should basically kill Christians. And when he said it, it was like cute and funny, and the media loved it. You didn't call for violence against anybody. So on a scale of me disagreeing with you, you're a 1, and Klein and the ADL are a 10. Look, I'm not friends with the ADL. I get what you're saying. I'm just saying that any authoritarian movement, I think, is extremely dangerous. And we're not faced with Hitler today. We're faced with the ADL and other authoritarian movements. So I think coming out and invoking Hitler almost gives those groups cover. And now, as you said, they're trying to get $500 million from Congress.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from. I think maybe that's more of a tactical disagreement. And I told you over the weekend, maybe this is my youth. I'm willing to humble myself and say I'm young and zealous and idealistic, as everybody can relate to that. But I do think I might be onto something here, which is that we've watched for 20, 30 years and things just keep getting worse. And we saw what happened in 2020. The election was stolen. The whole first term was rigged. And Trump comes back even weaker than before. And I'm like, when are we going to confront head on the fundamental problems?
Okay, I think I see where they're disagreeing or where they're like not really arguing on the same thing, because I feel like Nick is arguing more about like the whole problem is he got with the Jews is it's a spiritual warfare that's going on with them, not necessarily like like government organizational. Like then you have Alex Jones saying, "Oh, it's government and organizational and bureaucracy because it's like the ADL, in the Democratic Party and stuff like that, and these all these groups that have these special interests that's like not pro America and like not like what America stands for." And niggas saying like, "Oh no, it's because of who the Jews are themselves, and they have a spirit in them that's just evil and that doesn't like it's just prone to going this particular way." And me particularly, I'm like, I don't understand like the whole thing about the Jews. I don't like see why people like think the Jews are like doing this thing, because like it makes sense to me because like after a little while, even if like you're doing something with one particular race group, even that one particular race group will say, "Oh, that one particular person has something interesting that we need to bring into the group," where it will start to like get diverse, even if it's not even like, oh, we have like 2 or 3 people that's like not all the same out of the 100. That's what I'm starting to think, because at the end of the day, it doesn't really make sense, because I'm hearing stories about even in the KKK, you have KKK members that have black wives or wives of that are like minority or like or persons of color and stuff like that. And I'm like, wait, that don't make no sense. But there's like it's just weird that like they still do it and all. But this whole thing about like the Jews, it's all the Jews are after. It's like I don't really get it. I think it's like it's not one particular race group, one particular group of people. I think it's like people that get into power trick other people, and then those people like, oh snap, they start falling to that. It's like it's a whole diverse network of people that's like trying to do some special interest that's just not pro American. That's like, oh, I just don't understand. Like I'm just trying to break it down how like I how my conspiracy theory is about what's going on, like who's behind it, because like a lot of stuff to me just doesn't make sense about like why would the Democrat Party do like they're killing their young, then they're gonna bring in hostile immigrants and stuff like that. That's not the Democrat Party. But that's like leftists in the Western society and all over Europe doing that. They're like they're pro-abortion and they're like having less kids, but they're gonna bring in minorities, and this stems from like government and like people saying like, oh, not government, but like higher up people saying that, oh, we're overpopulated, and trying to spread this idea of like feminism to get people get men and women working so you can have more of a diverse labor pool so you can pay people less, or like stuff like that. I got some conspiracy theories that I'm not gonna get into right now, but hey, that's kind of interesting to me. I just think I'm becoming an Alex Jones fan because the stuff he's saying just makes sense. But hey, if y'all want me to do more of this, Alex Jones, like find the one when he was with, talking to Kanye, just let me know in the comment section. But remember, like, share, subscribe. Hey, I'm out.
And we're out of here like a screaming herd of turtles.